Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will talk about our application and couple of issues which are associated with our existing application. So as of now, if I click on this link, it is loading up this list. Take a note of it. This is a list. This is not a JSON response proper. This is a list which has JSON responses. This type of response is not recommended. Why it is not recommended is something which we will discuss in some time. Let me minimize this. If I show you the app, our app, we are making use of REST template. Now REST template is one of the way using which we can communicate with microservices. Now there is yet another way to communicate with microservices, and that way is definitely web client. Web client will enable you to code asynchronous program, and that falls under that falls under reactive programming. Now as of now, we won't worry about asynchronous or reactive programming. We will go with synchronous approach, but there is something known as asynchronous which Spring Boot supports, so take a note of it. Alright, apart from that, we are making use of REST template, which is cool, but in here we are making use of this string.class. We are not converting the response into a proper object. We will also do that. That is a way to go. And finally, we are displaying information on our page, which is nice, but the issue lies into this response. This response is nothing but a list. So first of all, let us convert this as an object. Alright, so let me open up the Samsung app, and here we have the device list. Oops, I have made a mistake in here. Let me rename the package, refactor, rename. It should be model. I have made this mistake. Let me fix this. And inside this model, we will create a yet another class by the name of devices. And it would be a list of device. Here we go. Now friends, you might be thinking that why we are creating this class where we are making use of this list and then using the object of this devices. Now hold that thought in your mind for some time. I will discuss that in brief in some time. As of now, let us quickly complete this. We will give the name as devices. Here we go. And now let us quickly do what? Let us quickly add a constructor. Let's add a parameterized constructor. Let's add getter and setter. And finally, let us also add the toString method. Here we go. Let me save the changes. Alright. And we need to also add the required import. Alright, so this looks good to me. This is nice, and now we will make use of the object of devices type. So again, let us navigate to our app samsung.java, and this particular method will now return a object of devices type. Here we go. And here it won't be a list, it would be definitely a object of devices type. So it would be first of all, we will need a list by the name of devices, and here it would be devices list equals new devices, and to this devices we will pass on this list devices. Now finally, let me also bring this line after the list creation. Now usually when it comes to these three lines, creation of this list of devices, it would be what? It would be usually a database call, and we will receive the information from the database, and we will then create an object. Now friends, why we are doing it like this? Now imagine whenever we are making use of a list as a return type for a RESTful API, it is not a good practice because it will remove the flexibility. When it comes to a list can contain only one type of data. A list can be of only one type of data. Whereas inside the object we can add any type of property. In here we are dealing with a list, but later down the line, for example, we want to add some additional property, we can do that. It's very simple, it is very easy, right? As a result, it is always convenient to add objects rather than list. That will be a better practice. All right, now friends, later down the line I will also show you a real life API, a real life small little project, and you will able to see that even in the industry people will never use a list even though they can. All right, now let us rerun this application real quick. Here we go. And now if I refresh this page, things will change, right? So you can easily make out that here we have a object devices, and inside the devices we have a object, and this object is of type list, right? And there could be more things inside this object. For example, later down the line I plan to add a yet another property inside this particular class. Then it would be very simple. For example, a string brand name equals Samsung. Pretty standard stuff. Let me quickly add in the getter and the setter for the same. Let me quickly get rid of the toString method and add a new toString method. All right, so we are all set, and now let us rerun this application. Here we go. And now, for example, I refresh this page and click on Samsung, then you would be able to see that there is this yet another field by the name of Samsung, right? So we have this list. Apart from that, we also have this brand name Samsung. So when it comes to working with object, it is very convenient, and your application will be scalable. There won't be any hurdle when you wish to scale your web service. So here is an important thing. All right, now moving forward, let us check our application. Here the next thing here, we are getting the information which is cool, but we are not converting the object into a proper object. We wish to convert it properly. So what we will do, we will simply create a yet another model. So here we don't have a model package. Let us quickly do that. So here we will create a new package by the name of model. Good enough. And inside this model we will add two classes, and these classes would be device and devices class. In fact, we do have these two classes. Can we copy and paste it in here? Will it be okay? Yes, we can do it. And we will definitely make some changes in here. Let me get rid of the package and click on this option and add the package declaration. Good enough. Let me do the same for devices. Let me get rid of this statement. Ask Eclipse to add a new statement. All right, so this looks good. And these two are what? These two are nothing but models which we have simply copied. No rocket science. And now let us quickly check our application. Here what we will do, we will simply make use of devices.class like this. This is cool, and we will receive the devices only. So it would be like devices result. All right, so this is good. And now finally let us refresh this page. Let me also rerun this application. That would be good. Alright, so ideally what happens is we need to create the models based on the structure of the response which we receive, but in here we have taken a shortcut and we have simply copied and pasted the device and devices.java file from our Samsung project. So a small little shortcut which I have did. How I have copied, I have selected these two files, right click, copy, and highlight the package and paste it, and you will get the files in here. All right, so this is nice. And now again let us open up our store application. Let me click on Samsung and we get the output. This is nice, this is good. All right, so we have also converted stuff a little. Now once we have this information in the view file, we are simply displaying the object, but we can like deal with things. We can extract information and we can display the information in a proper manner, which we will do. But before ending this video, your homework is to create a application similar to Samsung, and when the user clicks on this link, Apple link, it should list a devices list similar to this. Alright, so take a note of it. The name of the devices must be little different. For example, it could be like iPhone 8 or iPad new or something like that, and display the information. So take a note of it. Try to create a new application, try to create a application based on Apple devices, and then we will move forward from our next video. Alright, so here we go. The only thing which is left is hard coding the URL, which we will discuss in our next video. Alright, so thanks for watching, have a nice day and take care.